if you have a question, please remember to use your microphones. Just one click, you got a red button underneath.
Denying that Newcastle United have put in another bid for Mark Guéhi, and Eddie Howe pretty much not so much going along with it in his press conference, but saying that, you know, there will come a time where Newcastle will be prepared to walk away if they cannot agree a price for the England centre-back. You mentioned in there that, you know, this isn't a new thing for Newcastle. They've had it before, certainly since the takeover. You know, he referenced the Newcastle tax, he referenced not paying silly fees, and, you know, for Newcastle, probably after this fourth bid that's now gone in, it looks like, you know, that could be the end of it. Obviously, if it gets accepted, then great. But Eddie Howe saying there, you know, there will be a breaking point for Newcastle on all players, not just Mark Guéhi, that, you know, they could at some stage walk away from it if it's not going to suit them in terms of price and budget and all the other things that we've seen referenced this summer. PSR, which Eddie Howe also spoke about in there, admitted there was a bit of a frustration that he's lost players like Elliot Anderson, Yankuba Minter due to PSR, saying, you know, he lost it for financial decisions, not football decisions. Two good young players, so a little bit of frustration there. But overall, looking forward to the game against Southampton. That kicks off tomorrow 3 p.m. Said it's going to be a tough test, but one that he's looking forward to, and stated that he just hopes the crowd are going to be like they were last season. I'm sure they will be. Referenced that West Ham game when Newcastle were 3-1 down and came back to win 4-3. He said if that can be replicated, that kind of backing, then he'll be very happy indeed.
So the Mark Guéhi situation is very open at the minute, and I appreciate that he might be catching up with this video later on, by which time the deal might have moved on. We'll have to wait and see what's going on. It's active at the moment as I speak now. It's about just after 12:30 lunchtime on Friday. So very busy time for Eddie Howe, very busy time for Newcastle. One bit of sort of news that isn't going to change is the squad numbers, which have just been released now. So I'll just run through them. Harvey Barnes taking the number 11 shirt, which he's been wearing in pre-season. He takes over that shirt from Matt Ritchie. Lloyd Kelly will wear number 25. Will Asula is going to get shirt number 18. Odysseus, the goalkeeper's getting number 19 this year, and John Ruddy number 26. No big shocks elsewhere. Kieran Trippier retaining number 2, so nothing controversial there in terms of Livramento getting his actual squad number from the traditional right back shirt number. Jamal Lascelles is still number 6, so no changes there. Bruno Guimaraes 39 as always. Callum Wilson still the number 9, so no temptation to give Alexander Isak the iconic shirt. If you remember more than a couple of summers ago now, Joe Linton and Callum Wilson changed shirt numbers. It wasn't quite a straight swap, but Joe Linton ended up with 7, and now Wilson has held on to that number 9 shirt. So, and let's be fair, he scored the goals that have rocketed him up the goal scoring chart, so he's very worthy of that shirt as well. Isak maybe will get it in the future, we'll have to wait and see, but no big shocks or surprises there. Certainly nothing on the Richter scale of Rob Lee not actually getting a squad number back in the day. Remember when his number 7 shirt was given to Kieran Dyer, and he ended up eventually getting a squad number after Sir Bobby Robson arrived and gave him number 37. So that's where we are with squad numbers. Little preview of the match coming up. So just a brief chat on the Southampton game. If you remember last season, Southampton were promoted. They finished 4th in the Championship. They got 87 points, 26 wins, 9 draws, 11 defeats after getting relegated from the Premier League. They got up through the playoffs, they ended up beating Leeds United in the final. So that's how they managed to claw their way back to the Premier League. I think last season was, at one stage they looked like they were absolutely flying. Then things changed a little bit. They dropped in the playoffs. So, you know, they've shown that they can battle. Eddie Howe paying a big tribute to Russell Martin in his press conference today, basically saying that he's a very different type of coach and he expects Southampton to be very sharp. He's not taking anything for granted in this game. Newcastle know they need to get off to a flying start, but, you know, a newly promoted club coming up here would normally be, you know, a team with a lack of experience. But Southampton know what the big time's all about. They know what the Premier League's about. They played at St James Park very recently. Played up here 4 times a couple of seasons ago, if you remember. So the two teams, no strangers to each other. A couple of seasons ago, played each other 4 times. Twice in the league and twice in the Carabao Cup, which Newcastle obviously won and got through to the final at Wembley. And now it's back to Premier League action. And Southampton, Newcastle got a reasonably good record against them. It would be a shock if the Saints came up here tomorrow and got that win, because I think Newcastle are they're kind of chugging along after pre-season. I think the strongest team on paper should beat Southampton. It's going to be an interesting game. As we've mentioned, Russell Martin, you know, he was called tactically astute by Eddie Howe this morning in his press conference. So, going to be a good game. 3 p.m. kickoff. Hopefully the weather's good. Let's hope Newcastle can get off to that winning start.